other day there when I was saying YouTubers are weird. Well, we got this character. You see that thing behind us there? It's the Essential Craftsman. And we've been talking a little bit here and there, and I was on his podcast, which was wonderful. He's coming over. He's coming over. We're gonna chat. I'm excited to meet the man. He's a great fella. He's obviously is a wonderful force on this social media thing called YouTube. I think somebody's lost. He's a long way from home, this guy.
Oh man.
Oh, look at this fella. I tell you, I feel so silly, and I know he does too. We come from an era where you don't film somebody when you walk up and meet them, but we are YouTubers.
I know.
Do you know,
Shut my camera off.
Scott, do you know what's so funny? I'll talk to you guys in a minute. I'm going to meet this man here. Friends, you're not going to believe who I don't know how he found probably Google. He probably was lost hitchhiking. Somebody picked him up. You know, anyways, friends.
But we're just happy to be here.
We're just happy to be here. Let me tell you that right now. We got Rita. Say hi, Rita. Hi. She's over there grabbing her yellow cedar sawdust. Anyways, Scott, talk to my friends about what's going on with this tuning of the power saw thing you want to hear about.
Okay, so
You run power saws.
I've run power saws since I was 13, but my dad was not much of an explainer, and he wasn't really a power saw mechanic. He would fiddle with the jets and the air and the fuel, but he never really explained it. And I'm not mechanic enough to have ever gotten interested enough to master it. I would just run them until they wouldn't run, and then take it to the shop and bring it home and go back to work. I learned to file, but all of this in here is black magic.
It used to scare me.
Magic.
It used to scare me.
Well, it still scares me.
Black magic, I like that.
Tell me what I need to know, and let me get my camera running so I can remember.
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh my goodness. Friends, so very quickly, it's a beautiful evening. The sun's setting off in the west there. And obviously our new sun hole comes up here. I just want to explain the premise of this very quickly because Scott and I had so much fun and we've got a bunch of stuff to show you. And I just want to jump in right away and say, what a humble man. We come from completely different sides of the tracks in a sense. And in a working environment, I think in his younger days, he's done some logging with his dad, and he just speaks very highly of his dad and his family and all that. But I just want to say, he gets in there with his camera, friends, because he's got a little GoPro, and you'll notice, I'll kind of skip through this stuff, but if you want to see kind of what goes down on Scott's, what he's picking up on his camera, go over to the Essential Craftsman's channel. If you haven't already, and you're not already part of his community. This cross-pollination thing here. Scotty's a great guy, but he wanted to get that on film and take it back to his place in Oregon so he can have it as footage for perhaps his channel. Who knows what's going to make his channel? Friends, we shot so much freaking content. I don't even know if this will make it, but go over anyways to Scott's channel. It's the Essential Craftsman. He's a great guy. We laughed hard and we cut trees, and he asked some questions about this that we're doing right now. So be sure to go over and see the Essential Craftsman. The man is such a fun guy to hang around with. We had a blast, and that won't be the only time. So actually, Wendy and I were talking about boards for the back of my Myrtle. Remember, friends, me and Morgan were talking about it? Well, Scott's got some beautiful white oak, and that was a good series on his channel. So I may have to nip over to Oregon to grab some boards for Myrtle. Maybe I can talk him into maybe helping me put them in the truck as well. So you will see us with the camera and just talking about this tuning thing. You'll pick up some tricks, but to really see the screws turn, go over to his channel. He's got his camera right on it. Back at her. Well, one of the first things, I'm going to run through this like if you guys find a power saw, you're out looking around at a freaking garage sale and you find an old saw and you think, well, that's neat. First thing, it's not a guarantee, but it's something that everybody does, and you'll see everybody on YouTube freaking doing it after they build a saw and go, hey, check this out. Wow. Look at that compression. So anyways, I'm being silly, but that is a very good sign.
Yeah.
It tells you that things are good. It tells you you've got some thump in there.
And it's not locked. It's not froze up.
Exactly. And even if it is, sometimes these old ones, it can be the starter and not the, so you bonus out.
The rope is bound.
Yeah, you could get some.
Okay.
But the tuning thing, so what I tell folks
you got to have your handy dandy jet driver in your pocket there. You got to
Okay.
can't leave home without that. You have a high circuit and a low circuit. See that right there?
Tell me, what does that mean?
Well, I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
Your low circuit is your idle, and I'm actually going to fire this saw, and it'll probably idle because I did fire it when it was given to me, and it come from across Canada someplace. Your high jet is open throttle, wide open. You can actually, this saw, if I turn that high jet right off, this saw will still run, but as soon as I squeeze the trigger, it'll go, oh,
Oh.
and so it's a high circuit.
Okay.
So this is what I do, friends, on a saw like this that you find at the garage sale. A safe bet to start from is the first thing I do once you know you got spark. And if you want to find out if you got spark, just squirt some fuel in the freaking carburetor. Just squirt some fuel. You can take the plug out and do that too, but just squirt a little shot in the carburetor and just pull on it. Just pop like that. And if it fires, you got spark.
If it coughs.
Yeah, it just does a little, yeah, exactly, ignites, eh? That's what I would do. And then if not, just take your plug out and do the thing where you pull on it and put it against a piece of metal and you'll look for a blue light there.
And if you hold it yourself, you learn what electricity feels
Yes,
like.
you do, and it goes right up your arm and
That's right.
gets you. So what I do, these are, turn your jets right off. Turn them right off. Like,
Turn to the right, down
yeah,
tight,
yeah,
right tight.
Right to the tight and close them right off. So those are off right now, completely shut. Now this is what I'm gonna do. I know I got gas in this saw because I kind of thought you might be coming here today. But I honestly don't know where this thing's tuned at. I have no idea.
You don't know where the band, where it'll operate is.
Yeah, I believe, because I turned them off, I believe it was fat rich.
Okay.
Like about maybe a turn and a half on the high, which is too far. It's safe, but you'll see what I mean here. So I'm just gonna go like this. Half, 1, and about a quarter.
Okay, on the low circuit.
On both.
On both.
On
Same
both.
thing to
It's a safe bet.
Okay.
It'll tell you, now there's something important to know. So we're closed off, so we're gonna go a half, 1, and about a quarter. It's gonna let you know right now.
Okay.
Now, some people get crazy on the idle because the guy that had it before you maybe didn't know what he was doing and he had it all over the map. Get in here with your idle. Okay, this is your idle. Make sure,
little set screw
little
in and out
set
to the
screw
throttle, huh?
on the linkage. See,
Oh, yep,
it's
yep.
very simple. But make sure that you don't have a bunch of idle running to the saw. So back that off. There, it's already off. See that? Yeah. Oh, you good, babe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good to meet you, Scott.
Nice to meet you. Good luck with the garden.
Thank you.
So watch that as that hits this idle, Scott. Just watch that idle jump.
Yep.
Did it move?
Yep, moved up.
There
a
you
little.
go. So that's enough idle for things to work. So I'm just gonna fire it. If you're shoulder sore and you're getting old like me and Scott here, this is what I suggest to do.
Hey, he's getting old. I got old.
Yeah, well, he's older than I am, let's be honest. So get your little fuel squirter, friends. I got a pretty good feeling this thing's gonna fire. And just, because I could pull on this forever, and if you wanna find out what your saw is doing, this is not the best way, because if you're learning about your saw, you wanna know, so choke it, simple, choke it, pull the choke out. If you wanna know if you're pulling fuel, you would just do a normal starting procedure, which I can do right now. We got it choked, it's turned on. There it goes.
There it goes.
It popped. So I'm gonna shut the choke off. I see this, if somebody watches this video, please share this with people. I've seen so many people do this. It pops. As soon as it pops, get your finger on the trigger on the next fire. You know this because I've seen you do this on your channel. Get some fuel going to it. I could fire this again and no fuel and it'll cough and fart again. But if you hit it and give it full squirt,
So friends, this is just Scott and I'm just answering some questions for Scott. He's been running saws for years, for his whole life, since he was a young man. But I know fallers, like literal fallers that don't even touch the jets. Donnie Walker does it for all of them. I learned this when I was a young woodsman. It intrigued me. So I'm just gonna go through and show Scott, and I want you to listen to the saw. So see, I lean out the low jet and it starts revving up. So I want Scott to visualize this, and this is so helpful because he'll be able to do this now. And then maybe Scott will put this up on his channel. I don't know. It doesn't matter. You guys have seen me do this. But the fact is, this is a gentleman who's 65 years old, who's interested in this, and he's literally filming it and wants to learn. So it's a nice piece of humility by this man. Friends, this is one that a lot of people are afraid to get into, and it's the high jet, and I just show Scott what happens here. You can hear it rev up and back down. This is an old saw. It actually needs carburetor work, but it's just important for folks to understand that turning the screw in to the right leans it out.
On that high end, when it gets to that kind of a crisp, higher, clearer note, it's lean.
Yeah, it's gonna get lean, and and that's a dangerous spot, and that's why they switched to some carburetors that are governed. Don't matter what you do, it'll just govern it and keep feeding it fuel so you don't blow it up. And there's also single jet carbs, which the 125 Mac had, so that guys couldn't cook them. It's a good idea. This saw with...
So let's talk about why it wrecks them, because the oil into the whole mechanism is coming with the fuel. So if you starve that fuel and it's running on a leaner, more oxygen, less fuel, there's no oil going in there. Yeah. And so it's cycling 1,000,000 miles an hour, and it heats up and it burns itself up.
Yep. Yeah, cooks them. So
I'm getting smarter.
Well, I mean, you're a smart guy, so it's just, I thought this was voodoo too.
Yeah.
I did back in the day until I met the Walker Saw Shop. And I tune a good saw. I'm not going to tune my own. Sure. I've been tuning these for many, many years. And I've gone too far sometimes where I've been in the wood. I'm like, okay, I think I can squeak a bit more. And I'd squeak a bit more, but then I'd lose power. And I'd think, well,
oh, there's no fuel in there.
No fuel. So I'd add a bit more fuel and the saw would feel thicker, just better in the wood.
Yeah.
You know the feeling.
Yeah, I do know the feeling.
So you have to be careful. A lot of guys will go way up there and then bring it back to that gurgle. You saw it do that here.
Yeah.
This carb needs work because it's actually, you've seen enough. You could see what they do. I don't want to bring it up and scream it again, but you can take it right up to where it will not even feed fuel.
Interesting.
And of course, we got the pool on there running on straight fuel over there.
All right, let's hold.
And I'll show you the piston in this thing. And that'll be like, this is what can happen if you go lean.
Okay.
So for those of you that have been following the channel for a while, you probably know what that is over there. That's the science saw. That's a saw for science. It's been run on straight gas for a tank now, for sure. Probably close to a tank, I would think. Maybe not quite. That's probably not true. Not quite a tank. Probably half a tank of fuel that thing's been run on now, of straight gas. Okay, straight gas. My power saw gas is over there, right there. This is my lawnmower gas for that and all my other goodies. You guys know what I'm talking about. I know you do. And you can just believe what you believe, because no matter the evidence or facts that you are shown, you will be unable to hear the truth that you do not want to hear. Very important. No amount of evidence or fact will allow you to hear the truth you do not want to hear. I love that freaking saying. Our world is full of that these days, and it's unfortunate, but it is. I'm going in the back here like this because it doesn't need much, but it does need some. And it's full. So I just crack the other way and I go the other way. You look at how clear this gas is. It's white. This is straight gas, friends. I'm not playing around.
Friends, listen to how high this thing screams. There you go. That's the piston. Neat, eh? So friends, I'd like to thank Scott from this community. There's a bunch more footage coming. I've got so much content right now that but I don't want to get too far ahead before I get, you know what I mean? I just had a good time with Scott, but please give him a holler, head over to his channel. That's the end of this video. I wanted to share that with you folks, and hopefully you pick something up with them power saws and trinkety stuff that we do to them things. And Scott I don't know if he's going to have that on his channel or not, but he may, because he was interested in it. Scott, thanks again for popping over. Work hard, be honest, and be kind, friends. And we'll catch you on the next one. Ewan, we love you.